But yeah, that is an extensive list and a lot to go through in a short period of time.
Yeah, but we did it.
It's an interesting mix of like rookies and more senior groups, if you ask me. But yeah, that must have been a pretty lit weekend.
It really has been. But looking at it, man, these are mostly fourth gen groups.
Mostly, yes.
They're mostly fourth gen groups. There are people who are cusping from third generation going into fourth gen. So it's just like, man, like it's not that we don't recognize names on these lists anymore, but it's just like, oh wow.
Hello and welcome to the Krazecast, the podcast run by the fans for the fans that brings you close to the action. My name is Roxy, and today I'm joined by my fellow host, Jay.
Hello. To keep up with all our content, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at KrazeMag, and YouTube, The Kraze. And if you're watching this on YouTube, before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch our next episode, and hit that bell for notifications for whenever we upload new videos. So we are back, and it's been a while since we've recorded again, but what are we talking about today?
So we are going to do just like a general artist highlight on everybody that was at KCON, since that just passed and may or may not have been planned for earlier, but it's fine.
No, okay, sure. But also, let's not forget that KCON's going on a mini tour very soon. That's also launching. So
is that for the rookies though, isn't it?
Yes, I believe it's two groups, right? So they're hitting up smaller cities, or not smaller cities. They're doing it on a smaller scale, and I wonder how they're gonna do it actually, because they say it's KCON, but what elements of KCON are you bringing? Because we saw this come up with Chicago. It's a much smaller version, but they brought out like 4 or 5 artists, if I'm not
KCON Chicago at least had like B2B and some other bigger names. This is an interesting side project. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, because I believe it's Stacy and Gravity that are doing the rookie tour. So it's just 2022 has been an experimentational year for many tours. Because I've heard rumors about certain tours that just tanked real bad in big cities. So I think the industry is trying to figure out what market is where. So
right. And I think it's a good gauge just to see like, okay, what are the big cities of how many people are going to come out. But it's surprising that New York is getting a KCON, but it's not on the same level of KCON LA like what they used to. So I'm just a bit like, why? I know people still come out to New York. How come New York is still not a bigger stop?
Because before the pandemic, I was at KCON 2019 with one of our writers, and it was, big scale stuff.
So I'm just wondering, like, why is New York getting a smaller version this year upon its return? I mean, I guess we could blame it and chalk it up to the whole, like, the pandemic really screwed it over, so we can only afford one large venue. But still, like, even New York, I felt like even if you could bring less artists, New York still should have had something a little bit more bigger, maybe on the scale of Chicago.
Or just move it back to the Prudential Center like it used to be. Because in 2019, it was like in New York proper, which is, Madison Square Garden, bigger scale. Just go back to Prudential. I'm just I'm freaking so used to Newark at this point. Like most of us that have to travel in the Northeast area, because there's not even a rookie stop in DC.
That's true.
DC keeps getting skipped, and I don't know if it's because it's expensive or because the city is extra dangerous right now, which it is. But one or the other. But my local city keeps getting overlooked.
Looking at the website right now for KCON, they're actually in the middle of the US tour right now. As of recording of this date, they're supposed to be in Dallas today for this tour as of the website. So they hit up Atlanta and New York very soon. Again, very small venues. It seems like it's just a concert and not necessarily KCON, what you would think KCON
What was the New York venue, out of curiosity? Does it say?
Terminal 5.
Ah.
It's one of the smaller venues.
Yes, and a little more out of the way than some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm. So actually, they brought 4 groups, I should say. It's Gravity, Lightsome, Stacy, and 2-1. But it is very dependent on. Oh, do they have 2 days? Yeah. The groups perform on 2 different days. So upcoming on Dallas today, they're doing it this weekend. So it was Gravity and Lightsome yesterday. Today is Stacy and 2-1 today. So very much the rookies, but it's just like, I wonder how this is, looking for them, because I'm just like, I don't even see them tweeting about this tour.
I know. I was gonna say, I didn't even know what was going on right now.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was like right after LA.
Yeah. But I do hope that the kids, the rookies, are enjoying their time here and at least getting to see fans for the very first time in this kind of scale. So that's the little spiel on KCON. At least looked like it was fun for LA. Everybody was talking about it on the timeline. It's the one year I'm not there, but the Craze did have a presence, so be on the lookout for the covers that we have coming out very soon, if it's not out by the time you're listening already. But yeah, we're gonna just do the highlight of some of the artists, the lineup of who came. Who do we want to kick it off first? If you're not watching the YouTube video, you probably don't see how Roxy is wearing an ATEEZ shirt. So you know what? ATEEZ is all of Roxy's realm. I'm gonna let her kick this off. Plus, I haven't listened to the new stuff yet, so
why? Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
I know. I've been hearing very good things
about it. It makes me want to kill a man. Like, it makes me feral. Like, I want to go out and smash some shit. And there's metal screaming in it at the end of Hong Joong's at the end of his verse. It's everything. I love it so much. I obviously have a lot to say about ATEEZ. We just did ATEEZ ticketing for their tour. I'm wearing the tour shirt from January, so I can't believe I'm seeing them twice in one year.
That's insane, right? Like,
rip my wallet.
Aside from that, like the fact that this is a group that's coming back within the same year. And it's just like, I mean, granted, if you flash back to other episodes, I did tell Roxy, like, hey, they've confirmed it. They're coming back.
Yeah, I mean, Hong Joong did say it, like, at the last tour. I was like, bullshit, you're lying.
And then here we are, end of the year, in fall.
So I'm sure most people know about ATEEZ anyway. 8-member group under KQ Entertainment. They debuted in 2018. They've always been very popular internationally, not so much in Korea, but recently they've taken at least 3 or 4 wins on music shows with Gorilla. Maybe more than that. So they're starting to do better domestically as well. But this is like my favorite group right now. BTS is like an ultimate bias for a lot of us, but this is like my active one. I don't know. They're just so. I started watching ATEEZ content because like I stumbled across a video of Jongho doing that thing where he's breaking apples and like singing like a very ballady OST. And I was like, what is going on here? I need to know more.
I remember when ATEEZ just blew up the whole entire Craze group chat. I remember like at the time everybody's like, no, like, dude, obsessed. And here we are, and they're back with their the second time this year, like Roxy said. I mean, doing numbers. If I could be hearing this wrong, obviously we didn't attend or watch the live streams because adulting in life, you know, is what it is. But I heard that they had an hour set at KCON this year, and they performed so many songs.
I also heard that they did not take any breaks to play games or anything. They just performed the whole thing. Like,
which is insane, because like you look at other groups, and if you haven't been to KCON before, they do that where like they try to have some artist engagement, not only to give them a break from, whatever high intensity performances they have. Stray Kids has done it for sure, and so is 17. So it was just wild to hear that no breaks at all. And I'm just like, do you guys even rest for your concert?
there's also sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Thinking. When Gorilla came out, their latest comeback, like the choreography is insane. I don't know how they have the stamina to do all of that. There's like one point where Miggy's rapping and he's upside down, like leaning on two people. Like they're pulling shit like that. But like every other group that comes out, they did like a TikTok challenge, right? The Gorilla challenge. And like for weeks, it was like dead silent. Nobody would do it. None of the other groups.
That's what I heard.
So people were like, is anybody like brave enough to attempt, the Gorilla challenge? Because it's so hard. I think some of the smaller groups did hop on it because like obviously freaking SM groups were not doing it. So like I know Blitzers did it. I saw them do it. The group Trends did it. I think TNX also, a couple of the members did it. That's who I know of off the top of my head, but there's only like a handful, I think, that did it. So there was a lot of talk surrounding that.
Right. I'm just like imagining as just like when they were practicing this before they released this, how tired were they after each like round of going through the whole entire song? Because I'm just like, I'd be so tired. I'm not athletic. So it's just like props to ATs, because like this is the one thing is like I've only seen them once live, and that was at KCON. And I'm really sad that just adulting sucks. These weekday shows for these tours killing me. And
Mama already, like, I go to my boss and I'm like, hello, I need these 2 days off.
Yeah, I totally wish that was the case for me. And I was just like, even just one day, just want to go one day just to see them live, because everything I've heard about their tours is that they're amazing live, like really good live. And it's just, this is probably, this year in my opinion, is still going to be one of the shows to go to this year for K-pop groups. So I'm just like, so sad I can't go.
You have to see them live
again. So like, I really hope next year, come back please, so I can see you finally, because it's such a shame I'm missing out on this. And I'm like, so I'm living vicariously through Roxy and all the other friends who are going to ATs this round.
You have to see Hala Hala live. And they do it every time. Like I saw them do it at KCON 2019. This was before I was like a huge stan, and I was like, God damn. Stan pretty much breaks his headset every time they do that song. Like, I don't know how he hasn't broken his own neck yet with the way that he like moves.
Honestly. Like, just a machine, a dancing machine for San. And he's just so charismatic too. I'm just like, oh, stop, I want to see you live.
All right, let's move on. We have a lot of groups to cover, so let's move on to the next one. So I think I did it either by day or by alphabetical order on the side. I don't know. I went to KCON's website and wrote them all down. So the next group is Gravity, who I believe we've talked about before in like 2020 as when they were like new rookies. They are part currently of the KCON like US tour thing that they're doing, but I think they're probably the oldest group there since they debuted in April 2020, excuse me. They were considered like a monster rookie group, as you would call it, because they were the first rookie artist to debut on the Billboard K-pop Hot 100. as well as, get year-end awards and such. So they are a pretty popular group in their own right. They are Starship Entertainment's next boy group, basically. Can't say that I really vibed with their songs. Like, they're not bad, but it's just like,
yeah, like I've listened to Gravity. I like a couple of their songs. I forgot what was the last album. Like, I know that they released more recently. I haven't listened to any of their recent stuff, but I think I listened to something last year that they came out with, and I really liked it. But it was one of those things of like, there's so many groups right now that I'm like, I will get to you eventually kind of situation. But I'm glad that they're finally here. I did like that. Like, I do like them. Again, it's just timing, busy. Can't get to all of these groups. But I'm glad that they're like touring here.
And life is very different now than it was before the pandemic, as in like the scale of K-pop. So like, even in 2020, we were talking about how many more groups are debuting now. And in 2022, it's just skyrocketed compared to that. And, who comes around. So it's like actually impossible to listen to everyone. Like, I really don't think you can physically, like,
there's just too many to go through. And I'm just like, what? Wait, I can't keep up with all of your releases. You release something? Okay. Stress.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, genuinely still a good group. Still a good group. And again, we haven't seen any of their performances. As of this recording, I don't think they're officially uploaded to the YouTube channel. Could be wrong. Don't know if it's aired yet. Maybe not. Don't know, but I would love to see what their performances were. And again, they are touring right now for the KCON US tour. So good for them. They deserve. Get these rookies more. I wouldn't even call them rookies anymore, but they kind of are still, because they haven't.
They're like in a sophomore realm. It's really hard to. It's hard to, I don't know, put a label on it. But all of their albums, at least first week of sales, sell over 100,000. So they're not doing badly. They're doing very well.
Yeah. So well deserved. And I hope that maybe we're gonna get a solo tour. I think this is also like this KCON tour is testing out the waters of how well they can bring on numbers for themselves to do a solo tour in the next coming of year. I say next year. Do it next year, not in this year, please. Dear God, we're it's enough. It's enough.
That's probably a smart move, given that some of these groups did not do that, and had issues getting people to come out to the tour. So smart move. I do think Gravity would be one of those groups that does have that possibility. So
I believe the next group you have, they are considered monster rookies in their own right now. They're huge, and they have a very big tour coming up very soon. Yes. Who are they, Roxy?
That would be Hyphen, who everybody knows because they are the next not big hit. Hybe. I prefer Hybe. Whatever. The next Hybe group that were formed by one of those competition shows, Island, that went viral, which still is very surprising to me because I thought after Produce 101, like, we'd be done with that. But there is a lot. They also debuted in 2020. In the end, in November 2020, and they have obviously seen a shitload of success as well.
Monster. Like, I felt like this particular one, like, I know, similar to like TXT when they announced their tour, they like very like underestimating their popularity internationally, because why are you giving them small venues at this point? I know Hypen hasn't been around as long as TXT, but these are two groups that are just have such huge followings at this point that it's just like they can't do these small venues anymore. Like, they're huge. And I know from my friends who went, they were there for Enha, and they're just so excited for the upcoming tour. That tour is about to start very soon here. I believe they're gonna be here in October.
Yeah, I think September? It's October.
Yeah. But that tour is coming soon, and I'm pretty positive, like at KCON that past weekend, like this was the gauge, and I heard it was super loud for them. They have really catchy songs. I know Connie is really into them out of the Craze fam. So it's just like I can't deny they have, like, my favorite one from them is Tame Dash. And I don't listen to them really often.
I honestly, I don't think I may have stumbled across their music once or twice, but like their maknae is Nikki, right?
I believe so.
And he was like 15. I was like, I need to look away. Like, I can't. That's
Like,
a child. Like, I don't even want to listen to music of children. I'm like, please don't make me feel older than I am.
Right. I was just like, don't want to watch your music videos because y'all are just like your kids.
It's
and
weird
it's
to
just,
see children like
yeah,
working.
yeah. It's just like nothing against them. It's just like you guys should be in school. Like, don't get me wrong, I want you to have a good career, but I'm just like, I want you to just live normal lives as kids. It's getting younger and younger. I think we've talked about this.
Yeah, we have. It's just, it was like something I couldn't get over when they came out. So like, if you don't hop on the train, then you kind of just push it to
But
the
you know
side.
what though? Like, I will say, like, one thing about, like, I'm not necessarily saying like continue to have these young kids, debuting, but at the same time, it gives kids who are in their age range, you know, more of a, like, more of a reason to fangirl. Because we've done that, like, oh, but they're similar in our age. Oh my God, like, being in that kind of realm. So I'm glad like there's a younger crowd out there who are listening to them and appreciating them and being in their, like, similar to us, our Backstreet Boys and Sync, even though we weren't the same age at the time, but still like fangirling like that. So it's just like at least there is a crowd for them. But it's just kids. I want you to be kids. Please grow up because this is a hard industry to be in. But at the same time, I'm going to say, you know what? They've been killing it lately since they debuted. Like, I cannot deny how well they've been doing. And every single time that there's comebacks coming around, everybody's talking about them. So I'm not going to deny any of the pull that they get because, I mean, they're huge. They're really huge right now. And who knows what the tour is going to bring once they come in solo, because obviously those who went to KCON only got a taste of what their live performances are. So I'm excited for them. Hope they do well. Just have fun and don't forget to take your breaks and get some rest. Jesus Christ.
They their last release, the Manifesto Day 1, had 1.5 million sales in Korea.
Whoa.
Yeah. And their first studio album, which was in last year's October, was 1.3 million.
Wow.
So they're definitely like super popular in Korea. They do hit the charts in the US among many other places. But yeah. So when people say monster, that's what monster is.
Yeah, they're gigantic, like monster rookies. I mean, they've only been out for 2 years, but they're still in their technical rookie phase. I think that, like, the time we are not going to consider them rookies after they complete this tour. Once they complete this tour, it knocks them out of not being rookies anymore because they've done that.
I don't know. They're still too young. In my opinion, you're a rookie until you're like 25. You don't know anything about life until your brain fully develops. So just saying.
Who's next?
Okay, so admittedly, the two of us don't know much about the next one. That's just because I pay zero attention to J-pop. I have never paid any attention to J-pop.
I've fallen out of it, so.
But yes, the next group that was at KCON was I&I, who is the group that was formed by the Japanese version of Produce 101. Produce 101 Japan 2.
Oh, did not know that. Learning new things today, but I don't know much about them either. How long have they been out?
So they are also rookies. It looks like they debuted last year. Yeah, in 2021.
I'm glad that they got like the chance to come here though.
Yeah,
like,
it's because they're signed to CJ E&M. That's why.
Yeah.
Who also runs KCON. But yeah, so that's it's a bit of an unknown factor for those of us that are not involved in J-pop. I find it interesting that Produce 101 is still running in a different country, because like it completely tanked in Korea after they found out it was rigged. After everyone found out it was rigged. So
yeah. Well, I guess in Japan, I feel like in Japan they're much more strict because they have an idol system that is like huge in itself there. Like their idol system is way different from Korea's idol system. Like, so I can't, I'm not into that kind of music anymore. I used to be, but like I feel like they run such a tighter ship when it comes to their idol system. So it could be that maybe, and that's maybe why it why they might, still have it. I mean, we have spin-off similar concept styles also in China, if I'm not mistaken. They also do something similar in the Philippines, kind of, sort of. They do have like survival shows there too, to create their group. So I don't know, but heard very great things about them at KCON. A good number of people came to see them too. So a group that maybe we should look into more. Maybe we should do a rookie roundup of them.
I don't know. It's weird to me because all of their releases are Japanese. So I'm like, this to me does not
scream K-pop, but
does not constitute K-pop. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. But that's just me personally.
Maybe we'll look into it. But good for them. Nice to get them on a global scale and have them really be introduced to an international audience. Put my sneakers on. Listen, that song is not my favorite song off that album, but that song is catchy.
I really hate that line, to be honest.
Honestly, it's such an earworm that I'm just like, why? But you know what? I'm like, it's so fucking catchy. Again, not my favorite song. That song could have been or there's a different song that I thought could have been the title, but if you didn't catch on to who I was referencing to, ITZY's next on the list. I personally really like this girl group a lot. And I'm so bummed out that I can't go to their tour again. And two, I missed out on them at KCON again. Anyways. To Roxy, because she has all the information that breaks it down.
I just have to say, I don't like sneakers. I think it's a stupid concept. And if SM and JYP are trying to compete with each other on 4th gen girl groups, aespa won that really hard because girls was way better. Just saying. That's a personal opinion. And also me just assuming things because they might not even be doing that. It seems very successful.
Yeah, or there might not even be like a rivalry between the two of them.
But, I just listened to them at the same time because I was catching up on stuff. So
I admit Sneakers wasn't my favorite either. Like I said, I thought there was a different track. I think visually though, for the music video, they look gorgeous.
Well,
I mean, they're always gonna pull out budget. They look so good, but again, as a song, I wasn't that happy about Sneakers being the title. I mean, I was just like, it's in the realm of like catchiness and quirky and fun, but I thought Racer should have been the title track, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. But they're doing super well. For a girl group, they're doing super well. Their first tour is coming up very soon.
Oh, that's not their first tour. That's their second tour.
Their second tour, sorry.
Yeah, they were here in early 2020.
Was it a fan meeting or a tour?
I mean, I guess it is considered a fan meeting, but to me, it's all the same. So yeah, they were here right before the pandemic hit. I saw them. I had a great time at their show.
Oh, I don't doubt they're gonna bring on another great time for their actual like concert this time. And I'm just like, I wish I could go. Their light stick is super cool. I want their light stick, to be honest.
Is that the one that's just a circle?
Yeah, it's the ring. I was just like, man, that looks so cool. Yeah, ITZY. I mean, they're a girl group to be watching out for. They are one of the more like up there girl groups in fourth generation. So it's not Roxy's favorite genre where they do noise music, but they know how to make it work for them.
It's I mean, noise music at this point is so universal that even I can't bitch about it as much because like Gorilla was noise. Like
straight up. Obviously I haven't listened to it, so
I don't know. It might be something else, but I in general like ITZY's releases. Not as much. Like I really liked Dala Dala when that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Icy was good too, but then after that I kind of fell out a little bit.
What's the one where they do the shoulder one? Is that Wannabe?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wannabe is probably Dala Dala and Wannabe for me are like where really like their releases. I thought like they're one of the only girl groups in my opinion to really experiment with their sound and implementing that noise music. So, you know what? I'm happy for them. I'm glad that they were able to come back out because the last time that they were here for KCON, because I was there, half of the members had to leave because of the whole curfew thing.
Oh, I forgot. Is the curfew thing, is that like California?
No, I think what's this called? I think they implemented it in Korea, but they also brought it here to the States that the minors couldn't be like on stage and everything after a certain time. Like they couldn't be there anymore. So the minors had to like sit back because only two members when they do the encore, like they bring out all the groups again, only two of the members are on stage. So it's just like I believe all of them were now on stage together, which I'm just like, hey, at least they got to do that. And you know, it's just like, man, curfew sucks, you know, as a kid. But at the same time, well, at least you're not overworking them to an extent. We all know that they're just waiting in the waiting room. But I like ITZY, so good for them. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back to KCON again next year if they have a release.
There's 3 more left on this list. The next one is Kepler, who just recently debuted, I believe, at the beginning of this year. And Wadada went viral, and I gotta tell you, I hated the name of this song. When they released this, I was like, that is the dumbest name I've ever heard in my life. Like, flop. But the song itself is really, really catchy.
I was just like about to eat your words there because the song is really good.
It is. It's a really catchy song, and like I was not following them at all, and I heard it, and I was like, oh shit. Okay.
It is a weird title. I'm just like, but I see it. I get it. I understand why, and so I haven't listened to the comeback that they've had after most recently, but like there's a reason why they were sweeping, in my opinion, why they were everywhere and why they were on Queendom, why you're seeing so many remixes of that song at this point. Like, dude, and it just, but the only thing that sucks is that this is a project girl group and we know that they're not going to last too long, which is sad.
This is the group from Girls Planet 999 and actually has Huninkai sisters in it, which everybody was very excited about, and Yujin from CLC. She's also made the cut. But yeah, I'm pretty freaking sick of these project groups. I gotta tell, like since 2016, like I've had enough.
Yeah, it just, it's not making that, like obviously seeing commercial success, right? Like people are talking about them. Why are you gonna disband them? Why just keep them together? I'm gonna be so sad when this girl group is no longer a thing.
I also don't know why they were put on Queendom when they like just debuted.
I think it's just because it wasn't Girls Planet 999 also on Mnet.
Yeah,
that's why. That's
There's
why.
a lot to be said about that, but okay.
But also like when I watch Queendom, they say like they put it out there that it's just like, yeah, we're new, we get it, but like this is a chance for us to really prove ourselves as a group in this show. And like they just don't want to be like, oh, we're being put in here just because we're Mnet's newest girl group, you know? So it's just like they wanted to also prove themselves. Like it would be cool. Like I don't think they came in the mindset of like, yeah, winning would be really cool, but they just more it's the exposure too. And I'm just like, that's fair. That's fine enough. Now it would have been different if they like people would call sus. Not saying, everybody would be thinking about this way, but there would be people who would call sus if they did win.
I still call sus just because they're there. I thought they were fine popularity wise. They didn't need to go on Queendom. Mnet just wanted them there.
I mean, they did really well. I like their stuff on Queendom, so I think it was just good for me as somebody who didn't watch Girls Planet 999. It was a great opportunity to get to know who this group was, like before they like as a group rather than they were building to become Kepler. Anyways, really good group. Really like them. There's a lot of promise. Please just keep them together, please.
It's not gonna happen. There's been. I would emotionally detach now. Save yourself. Because I guarantee you, it does not matter how popular they get. Are you kidding me? If that was the case, IOI and 101 would not have broken up.
Or Eyes One.
So just keep that in mind if you get into Kepler, like you need to emotionally detach. I've been through that. Like you did.
I need to buy their album before they disappear.
Yeah, because then you'll never find it.
Yeah. I'm very lucky to have an IOI, their debut album, the one that has Pick Me on it. I'm lucky to have that version. So I'm just like, I need to pick up a Kepler album before they are completely gone in the void. So yes.
Yeah, because I can guarantee you will not find that album once they disappear. I have never seen a 101 album in even like giant K-pop stores. They're not left. So
yeah,
if you want to get it now.
Yes. Who is the next group that we have?
Okay, next we have Lightsome, who debuted in 2021. They're Cube Entertainment's next girl group, basically. I don't even know where to start there. They just are. They just be.
I don't listen to them and I'm so sorry.
I covered some of their early releases and it's like if you like a traditional girl group sound, like more of the cutesy, less of the like girl crush stuff, this is probably up your alley. At least their first releases were like that. I don't know about the latest one. It's like a mix because Vivace was their second single, and it had sort of like it was kind of like Itsy sneakers, the concept, like with like the royal-ish, like the high-end sort of thing. So they do that, but like sound wise it's very traditional K-pop girl group stuff.
Yeah, again, a girl group, there's so many that I can't really like remember everything, and a girl group that I know of but just really don't listen to them often. Sorry. But who never
They're
know.
on the rookie tour.
Yeah, we never know. This girl group, a lot of promise, can blow up. We'll see how it goes. Cube better not fuck them up. It's Cube, right?
Tall order. I need to stop talking because I always be trashing.
I'm just like, you better not mess up. You've already had a history. Don't mess this one up. Anyways.
Jay, you can take over the last one.
Roxy got to start with hers. I'm going to start with mine. Stray Kids came back. They were the surprise. Last announcement artist to be added to the lineup. No surprise, in my opinion, because they're doing really well lately. They just are wrapping up their Maniac tour. And they're gonna have like the encore tour in Korea coming up soon. I mean, like right now, probably JYP's biggest boy group. They have been very active lately. I'm just very, 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 very jealous that I couldn't go because I wanted to see them. I heard so many good things about them at KCON. Their latest comeback, Maniac, has done really well. I mean, again, just a really good group. I love them so much. They are the last tour that I got to see in person. Most recently a month ago. Yeah, a month ago. They're amazing live. Chan got to host for a little bit of the section of KCON this year, which no surprise, of course. Though he's very sweet because he had roses. He came up on stage and he had roses, and I think he was throwing it out to people in the audience. And I'm just like, banner interaction, so cute. But we also got 3RACHA to come out on stage. That I did see. And I mean, for those who haven't experienced Stray Kids and KCON was your first thing, I just want to know how much, not only ATEEZ, but how much Stray Kids shook the stadium, because they brought in so many people. A lot of people came in for ATEEZ and for Stray Kids and in Hyphen on day one, that I'm just like, I want to know how much that building shook that night, because I mean, they have a presence on stage and no doubt did it really well. And I'm just saying, if you got to hear Cooking Like a Chef, like a 5-star Michelin, I just want to hear that in a big KCON crowd. So I hope in the video that releases, I want to hear that. Please have the audio. But yes, a boy group that is doing really well. Come back. I miss you. I miss you already. They are my like Roxy said, BTS is an ultimate group for us, but right now they are my active one. So I'm just like, come back. Anyways, that's my little soapbox for them.
I really liked Stray Kids' earlier stuff, and I don't know, I just kind of fell out. But I mean,
they're denying they're talented. Their older stuff.
Yeah,
like they're re-recording them. So
I know why.
Yeah, I think we all know why. But I think, if you're missing that nostalgic feeling of their older stuff with their new re-recording of things, I think it brings it back. And I'm just like, okay. I am curious, what are these boys planning next? Because they're going to start to go radio silent very soon again. And yeah, I'm excited for their comeback. Come back! I miss you.
I just have a question, because I think everybody heard this, that there was like a taser pulled out in the general admission line for KCON, and fights were breaking out. Was it between Stays and 18As? Because they are always at each other's throats. This is the new XOL and ARMY beef.
I don't know.
I'm just really curious.
I don't know. All I heard was it was just because of the numbering situation and like lining up early. That I heard no one was hurt, but it was pulled out. Don't do that.
Y'all ratchet as fuck.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That is, I mean, I don't even think you would have gotten into the venue unless it was an inconspicuous taser. But don't do that. That's not safe. That's scary.
See, this is why general admission, I was in the general admission line for BTS's Love Yourself tour, and people did cut. I did not fight about it. It's not worth fighting about.
Yeah, I think
y'all have lost your minds.
It was the whole camping out thing, and people are having a system in place for numbers, and then who's not honoring the number system?
Oh, that never works out.
It never works out. Security sometimes really doesn't really honor it. So it's just first come, first serve. And I think that's what happened. I don't think it was a fandom thing. I think it was just that whole general
insanity.
Yeah. Because see, this is why I'm kind of hesitant to bring GA floor without any seats back. Because this happens.
And people camp out for a week, which is, ugh. You don't shower for a week. You can't go somewhere and shower. Like the concept, it's everything about it. Like I did it once. We did it one night. And it was the worst. Like, I don't know how these, and like, I get that you get upset that people cut, but like humans suck. So like, you just need to accept it. And I don't know. I feel like it's gotten so much worse over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and so that's why, like I said, it just makes me so hesitant that they're taking away the seats. I liked having the whole seats thing, but then again, there are people who are still gonna bum rush that stage once they come to the extended stage. So I don't know what a solution to this would be, and it just sucks. It really sucks. So please just be safe, concert goers. This was not it to hear and see come through the timeline.
Yeah, don't bring tasers and don't pull them out. Oh my god. It's like it's basic.
And also, like, I get it that you're upset and you're talking to the venue staff, but also some of the venue staff who are there, they don't know anything either.
They don't care either. They just, it's not in their job description to care. They're not gonna care.
Yeah. So. And sometimes those people, they literally just clocked into their shift and they're like, what people don't realize about, like, and maybe this is a conversation to have on another podcast episode, is like most of the people who are working for these events, those are like hired help. Like they put out like a call, like, hey, temporary assignment, come work for this event if you have experience, working these types of event. So some of them really just don't know the process, or like this is their first time doing a concert event like this and they don't know any better either. So anyways,
I had to bring it up because I can't believe that shit was happening. Oh my god. I've been in situations, but nothing that absolutely insane before.
Yeah. That was the first time I knew, like, we've heard stories of how, people will argue, but this was a first, and it should have never escalated to this scale. And anyways, just don't do that, please. Don't do that. Not cool. Not cool at all.
All right, let's move on to our next round of groups. So the next group is Luna, who
currently on tour.
I couldn't go see them at DC because they're fucking another middle of the week, too far away situation. Luna, I feel like, is one of those girl groups that is considered very big, but they're starting to have issues. Obviously, there's an ongoing situation with Chu, questions about that, so she's not at the tour, which is sad. But it's
not issues within the group, it's issues between the group and their management.
Yeah, as per usual. It's not bullying. That's what you want to clarify. Right.
Yeah, I don't think that there's I think all of these girls, I think they are in it together, but I personally think they're mismanaged pretty badly.
It is a smaller company that they are with. So the concept, their whole project concept, I thought was very interesting, but it did take a very long time for them to like officially debut. I think they should have cut that process in half, if you ask me. But I really like Luna. I do wish I could have seen them. I don't know. I think they're just a really good group.
They bring out a lot of people to their shows too. A lot of people have been begging them to come out and do an actual tour. Last KCON, they were here. Huge amount of people who were Luna stans in the crowd. So they bring out people. They have fans, and I'm not going to deny that. They're doing really well. Just wish they were more properly managed. Because that's been the biggest qualm that I've seen amongst people on the timeline. They're like, what the fuck?
And they've been active as like a full group since 2018. So they are one of the more seasoned groups, I would say, that was involved here. But they've definitely made a name for themselves in the industry. And I don't know, it's weird to watch it start to fall apart. It's like it happens, but
I mean, and I don't think it's, to their own accord. It's just the industry, the management sucks, but they're great performers, put on really great stages. I'm pretty sure that tour was so much fun to go to. They're doing their meet and greet tour right now, so they're a girl group, and I hope that for the time that we do have them, because everything is just up in the air at this point, I just hope we get to continue, we hope I hope that they continue to put out more work because they deserve it. This is a talented group.
Okay. Next on the list is an NCT subunit, NCT Dream. I was actually kind of surprised to hear them announced. But I mean, I guess I saw 127 at KCON years ago. So
yeah.
This is the only group I know of that brought back a member because people got so mad about the graduation system. Yeah, they just
but he wasn't even there. He wasn't even
there. That's because Mark does too much.
Yeah,
that man is gonna be also dead by 50. It was also
the same weekend as SM Town, their big concert. So it was the same weekend. So the Dreamies weren't a part of that particular, like the family group concert that they do. But people were excited to see NCT Dream finally come out for this KCON, and well deserved, because I don't think like this is their first time being here.
Yeah, because initially 127 was supposed to be like the international, like arm or whatever. Like, was it that? Because 127 is like the latitude or longitude of Seoul, right? So it's like, who was actually? I can't stand NCT. The whole concept just hurts my brain. I don't like it. So I never like think about these things too hard. But yeah, Dream. It's been weird watching them go from chewing gum to like hot sauce.
Yeah. It's just like can somebody confirm, did they perform chewing gum? Just because that's nostalgic, okay?
I bet not, because I feel like a lot of people that like Dream now like that they're not the youthful boys.
they're not Boy Scouts.
That's like I've just seen people talking about them. I'm like, okay, we're going the hard stand direction, but like I saw them when they were literal children. So again, it's the children thing.
But you know what? Like the Dreamies are up to par with their other NCT units, you know? They've been putting out solid bangers right now. So it's just like, yo, they're not like, don't sleep on this particular unit for NCT, because this is another talented group of boys. And like I said, I heard so many, like the little light stick that they have, I heard that and saw pictures that there's so many light sticks in that crowd. Well deserved. I think people have just been wanting NCT to finally come internationally. I know people are upset about the NCT 127 tour that's about to happen here in the States, but
yeah, that was an interesting decision. I don't know who made it, but it was interesting.
But regardless, I think Citizens were just happy that an NCT group was here and present again here in the United States. So, you know what? The Dreamies, I'm so glad that they finally got their chance to stand on this stage and meet their fans here too, like that. Just well done. Well done. I just really want to see more NCT in general. So good for them.
Okay, so we're just going to touch on the next group because I know we talked more in depth about it in the rookie roundup, but NMIXX was also at KCON, and I believe they only have a debut single album, so
they are coming out with a comeback very soon.
But like, what did they perform if they only had a single album? Did they do covers and stuff?
I know that they performed Tank and
the other one.
Is it it's the one that looks like the emoji.
I've already said my piece on that one, so I just don't.
Also, we have to remember that when it comes to KCON, the smaller groups only get the chance to perform 2 to 3 songs, and then they have those special stages.
Yeah,
I think NMIXX was part of the special stage of covering another group song.
That makes sense. Yeah. They are having a comeback in September, mid-September. So we'll see how that goes after the debut, which was very polarizing, if you ask me.
Yes. Was not the biggest fan. I preferred Tank. Anyways, next group,
P1 Harmony.
Another big group. Everybody came out to see them too. I feel like they're here still.
They did a tour earlier this year too. I saw them in DC and I had a great time at their show. I really they're very great performers. The little Maknae is so cute. He's like a little boy. I think he's probably one of the teenagers. I was just like, he's so small. He's a great dancer, but he's tiny small child.
Yeah. Not much to say about them because I feel like we talked about them.
I'm sure we have, because we also did an interview with them back in the day.
Yeah. Go check that out.
Everybody loves Kehoe so much, and he's a very, very sassy man. I don't know. He's from Canada, right? So I don't know if he was one of the MCs at all.
For day 2, I think P1 was hosting some of the members from P1. And
they're all pretty good at English, actually.
Yeah. So some of the boys and the P1 boys were hosting at one point. Wouldn't be surprised. It's like a 3-hour show. So
anyway, yeah, P1 Harmony is a group I think that excels also in performance. So they definitely have a very solid fan base.
I wouldn't be surprised if they come out again next year. A lot of people came out to see them for their tour this year, so I would not be surprised to see them blowing up again within the next year. So good for them. And we got to speed through a lot more groups because we have 4 more to go through. 4 more.
Yeah, it's fine. Some of these we talked about before in general, so we can just, the next group is Stacy, which I know we have also talked about in the rookie roundup, and they are a girl group that just like came out of nowhere and destroyed it.
I feel like Stereotype was everywhere.
They went viral with like every release. They've just like, nobody saw it coming, right? They're not from a like big label. They just, I don't know, they have the X factor, I guess. Their music is very catchy. Not quite like generic girl group, but in certain ways, I don't know. They just like, everybody loves them. They're a part of the rookie tour, and I think they might be like the biggest pull for that.
Yeah.
So
I think this is their chance to be like, I think we could pull a tour, but let's just see how we're doing in this KCON tour. So don't hate me. I still haven't listened to everything Stacy's. I only know Stereotype because it's come on shuffle like once or twice, but I don't remember it entirely. Don't hate me. There's one particular person, Sophia. I'm sorry. Anyways, yes, they're a group that's been everywhere. They're doing really well. I think again in the next year we're gonna see them blow up.
They already blew up,
but even more. Like I feel like once they like finish up this tour, they probably have one or two more releases. Solid girl group to like be a contender to be a top girl group within the industry.
Okay, next we have the Boys, who is another more senior sort of group. I never got into the Boys. I
recently got into them.
I have like one song of theirs that I really like. But they are another one of those like super popular groups. They won Road to Kingdom, right? Which is how they got into Kingdom. So I feel like that was like a point.
Very talented boy group. They also had a tour here not too long ago, a couple months ago. Currently I believe 2, because they're 12-member boy group, 2 of their members are sitting out for recent promotions. They also recently had a comeback. They are massively popular. Like they're not doing like huge venues, but they're bringing people out to their concerts, and this is another promising boy group, and I like them. I haven't listened to their newest one, but we know a Craze member who is very much a big fan, and I believe they can vouch for everything the Boys for us. I was just like, insert her comments here somewhere. Like she will go on about how much she really likes the Boys. So like, I mean, they also like a lot of fans have been waiting for them to come out to here too. So
yeah, I mean, they've been active since 2017. So it's safe to say that people were waiting quite a while, because I know they definitely weren't coming in those early days.
Yeah.
But it's been weird to watch them. It's always weird to like know a group from the beginning and then years later see how it's progressed. Because I remember their first single, Giddy Up. I don't even know if they perform that anymore.
I don't know, but I know the one song that they'll perform for sure is The Stealer, because everybody loved The Stealer from them. I think that was also the era that I not really got into, but when they started doing Kingdom, not Road to Kingdom, that's when I was just like, oh, I see why a lot of people like this group. And so it made me like, okay, I'm into it. I'm in.
All right, let's jump into our second to last one here. This is TO1, which is formerly known as TOO, if you say it that right. I don't know why they changed their name, but they did. They were a survival show group as well. I actually saw them at like freaking KCON 2018 when they were filming the survival show. Gigi and I were in the audience. We were like, there's a kid with orange hair in the audience, orange and red hair, and they're Korean. That's probably some idols.
Yeah, no, I remember they performed, was it 2019 or 2018? One of those years when they were doing it. I just remember like everybody was like, oh my God, new boy group. And they had standees on the convention floor, and on the last day, people were trying to snatch those up.
Of course
and
they were.
And I was just like, they haven't even debuted yet. They're just trainees. We don't even know who's gonna make the final cut, you know? And so got to see them technically be trainees perform on stage because they got a chance to perform. And then here they are. They've gone through quite a few member changes.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. There have been 4 that left and 2 more that joined, 3 more that joined. It's 2022 looks like it's been a little bit tumultuous for them, is the word I would use. Because also the only thing I heard about their performance was there was some cultural appropriation issues. That's all people were really talking about. I can't speak on it because I didn't like see it, but that's all I heard. And I was like, ooh, that's not good.
And like I haven't given them a chance to listen to their music. Like the whole rebranding change too kind of just made me even more confused. So
yeah, it threw me off too.
Yeah. So I never really was able to fully get into them, but you know, good for them for being invited back.
Well, I don't know, because I didn't listen to anything that they did after they rebranded. Because I remember like covering their debut, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then like they're like, we're changing our name, and also like half the members are leaving. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a jarring experience when that happens. I feel like the kids just don't know how how traumatizing it was for us back
in the day. It was extremely traumatizing.
It was so bad. So like member changes in the lineup occurring now isn't as like, oh, okay.
Especially when they add members, because that's a very new practice. That to me, I'm like, I don't want this. Like I already learned, I don't want you to add new factors. That's not fair. You're supposed to finalize it. So I do think that puts those of us that are, you know, remember the days of like EXO is a good example when like that literally was like changes. That was completely traumatizing for everyone. And they never added new people. So
at least they didn't add new people.
I know. I think that would have been a disaster.
I think that people would have been even more upset if that was the case. But yeah, to a group that I wish I could speak more of, but they kind of get lost amongst the sea for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Last but certainly not the least, we have Cosmic Girls, or WJSN.
I will go to bat for this group. I swear to God. Okay,
like honestly, WJSN, they are another starship. They are another starship group,
and they have been active since like 2015 or 2016. Like, they were at KCON 2017 in LA, and I was like the only person that was lit as fuck when they did Happy, which is like your generic like upbeat girl group song. I was so fucking lit. I love that song. And I was like, I was really excited to see them because they were another one of those groups that you wouldn't normally see in the United States.
Yeah.
And I think that they in general release a lot of bangers, but like people don't pay attention.
Yeah, that's true. And they won Queendom season 2. They're the winners of Queendom season 2. And when I was watching this girl group, go through the gauntlet of queendom, I was just like, dude, these girls aren't here to play. Like, they want this. They want this so bad, and to Nick, and well deserved, because I feel like they get overshadowed by a lot of other groups, and they've been around for such a long time. So well deserved for them to come back to KCON. They deserve more love. And I mean, just please give them attention. I'm just like, y'all, you can like also Cosmic Girls. I know Ive is another Ive, right? Is it Ive from the same label? Right?
I think so. Let me check.
Who's the other girl group that comes out of the same label?
Yes, it is.
Yes. You know, I know everybody has their eyes on Ive right now coming out of Starship, but don't forget Cosmic Girls. They're the girl group that came out after Sistar. And are their Chinese members still active? I don't
They
think
are
so.
Still inactive. They've been inactive for years. They're still in China.
Yeah. But I mean, regardless, this is a girl group that has been fighting tooth and nail to like get back there. And I'm glad that they did come back for KCON, because it goes to show like they're people want them. And I mean, if you can bring Monster X here on tour, you can bring them here too. Starship. Just saying.
But yeah, that is an extensive list and a lot to go through in a short period of time.
Yeah, but we did it.
It's an interesting mix of like rookies and more senior groups, if you ask me. But yeah, that must have been a pretty lit weekend.
It really has been. But you know, looking at it, man, these are mostly fourth gen groups.
Mostly, yes.
They're mostly fourth gen groups. There are people who are cusping from third generation going into fourth gen. So it's just like, man, like, it's not that we don't recognize names on these lists anymore, but it's just like, oh wow, KCON has really changed in the 10 years that it's been around. And oh yeah, that's what we even forgot to mention. This year marked the momentous 10-year anniversary of KCON when it first began. So I think that was even more special about this particular KCON. But it's just like, it's been around for 10 years, and like looking at this lineup, it's still a stellar lineup regardless. There are fans who came out for each and every group, and there are people who come away. I think what's the great thing about KCON, you come away liking new groups, or like discovering new groups that you weren't like, oh, maybe I'll give them a chance.
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up. I don't think there's much more to go into that. So
yeah, that's it for this week's episode of the Krazecast. We are like, if you have any thoughts, please let us know in the comments below. Please feel to share with us on social media. And we have tons of articles released about all the groups that we've talked about today for this KCON lineup highlight. And again, we are available. The podcast is available on all platforms, so give us a follow, and don't forget to leave us a rating and review. And again, let us know what you think about this episode. Who do you want to see in a future KCON, and what do we think about this whole KCON smaller tours? Which big city should they do next? Because like I said, you know, New York was cut out of, you know, doing a big KCON. So what is going to be the next big city that's going to be giving us what LA gave us? And this has been the Krazecast, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.